terms of like, you know, your relationship with your partner, do you find that's quite well balanced? Do you kind of do things for each other?
Yeah, he is very thoughtful as well. Like, he'll surprise me with, even if it's just like flowers or something like that. He likes to just kind of, if he knows I've had like a struggle. I used to be bad for like keeping it in, like, and then I would just like lash out, where I've kind of learned to just tell him, look, it's a hard day, I'm sorry if I'm a bit snippy, but it's just to make you aware it's not you, it's just I'm having a blip day type thing. So I've learned it's better to communicate with him about that than just, but that's through learnt lessons of kind of not saying anything and then but he says he finds as well that sometimes if I'm angry, he gets more information during an argument than he can sometimes have in a conversation with me. That's something to do with, I'm not like spitting angry, just sort of frustrated angry. Like sometimes that can release sort of what's happening more than if he was sitting down and approaching me like, what's happening, isn't it?
It's almost, that's when you kind of get in touch with what is going on
what's
for me.
The centre of it.
And is it often what often comes out in those moments when you're angry? What is it that he kind of finds out about you?
I think, just trying to think, I know the recent discussion we've had is the wedding thing, because at the moment I was like, I feel we're both dragging our heels, because at the moment it's not about us, it seems to be about everybody else, and I was like, I don't want to get married if it's about everybody else, because the whole point of a wedding is about us. So I think that's the thing at the moment. And then his point is, well, I want to make sure that we're healthy, and I don't want you to look back at the wedding kind of thinking, oh, I wasn't in a good place, and fake smiles, because he knows I'm like that. I don't like, if I don't feel right in myself, I hate having to force on a mask, as in, I don't like going to events when I don't feel right, because it just makes me feel 10 times worse. And he's like, and I don't want the wedding to be something like that, where, and he's like, and I don't want it to be all encompassing. And we've already had the usual where his parents want it their way, and then obviously my mum's like, oh, just take my money, like Dragon's Den. She's like, I don't have any conditions to mine. But his parents are like, well, we want all our friends, and we want people that me and Douglas have never met before, and I'm just like, that's not what I want from. But
and as you say, that's a day that really is kind of about the two of you, and how first, for being a person that just doesn't really like pretend upsetting people, or really wants to help.
And it's already been, as soon as that happened, it was literally like the brakes were put on, because it was like, because it was just turning into this big massive thing where it was like almost like a negotiating a contract type thing, and sort of like, well, we want these people there, and I was like, I've never met them, you've never met them. I can understand if it's like your godparents or like your parents' best friends, just like sort of courteous to me, but when these people don't mean anything, and it's only out of like, they're very traditionalist in the sense of, well, these people invited us to their children's wedding and stuff like that, and I was like, well, that's not my wedding. But then I don't like, it turns into, I don't like feeling like I put Douglas in a compromising situation, because at the end of the day that's of his parents. I don't like the idea that if they think I'm kind of being like, nope, that they're going to have that resentment there moving forward. So it's like, and I can,
it's really hard.
And I can already feel, like you say, because I start thinking about all the different players on the chessboards, it's just become like a big, rather than just concentrating on me and Douglas, it's just become all-encompassing. So I have noticed that me and Douglas both have kind of been a bit sort of, we should really talk about it, but then we could talk about it, we're like, ugh.
Let's take a break from that. I think I'm just aware of the time, and I kind of have to finish up soon. Is there anything that you kind of want to set as like a goal for this week, or anything that you think like will be quite helpful?
I think I need to do the diary more often as well. Like I haven't maybe connected sometimes when I am thinking like that, so I think I just need to consciously sort of maybe just think about, especially with how things are at work and stuff like that, because I can already feel myself like, I really don't want to go back and stuff like that, so I need to kind of channel in a bit more, I think.
There's something that I think might be quite helpful. It's a book, I don't think it's very expensive. I don't know if you maybe can get it online actually. It's just called Compassionate Mind.
If it's on Kindle, even better, because I've got a Kindle.
I think it probably is. It's on like
it's
Amazon.
Usually cheaper as well.
They've got there is 2 different versions of it. Like one's like a workbook, so if you just would rather have just a book, then there just be aware one of them might say workbook in case you get it on one. Or if you want the workbook, it's got tasks and things. So it's basically, and you can also, if you YouTube, oops, I've just written YouTube, so we'll just cross that out. I think it's called Compassionate Voices, I think, or if you Google that, it should come up. And it's like a wee animated video about a guy who hears voices, but it kind of explains quite well kind of compassion and that kind of alternative side to the sort of critical, kind of harsh critical voice. So you might find them quite useful in having just different ways of doing that, or some inspiration for like, oh yeah, well, lots of other people do that too.
That's good, yeah.
And so the video is really good. It's not very long. It's a wee animated thing, but it explains it really, really well. And if you think, oh yeah, that's something I'm quite interested in, then you can have a wee look and see if you can. So that might be. I can give you a wee something to have a think on that might help with that diary, and give you a few sort of ideas for that. And we'll keep all our fingers crossed for the insulin people to come through, which is very frustrating.
Yeah, it's just, as in I'm fully aware, the more frustrating thing is it's a postcode lottery, because if I was in Edinburgh side, they have a lot more funding for type 1 diabetes, and it's just a case of knowing location wise can mean completely different things of what services you can get.
That's absurd.
I'm paying by card today as well.
That's fine. Are you wanting it to make, oops, it's me getting my password wrong. Appointment for the same time next week?
Yes.
Still the 28th today. We're just gonna, because this diary always takes forever to get it started. Okay, that's fine. Right, we'll just pop and get the card machine.
Oh no, I keep on doing that every time.
It's just so much more convenient.
I know.
Okay, so that's 11 o'clock on the 5th of December.
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, thank you. Just testing you there. Thank you.
What's the date again?
The 28th today and the 5th next week. It's awfully hard question.
I can't believe it's December already.
I know. Oh my goodness. Put my laptop right on top of that switch for the light. That's terrible, isn't it? Perfect. Alright, well, good luck.
To be honest, I'm happy it's just not raining.
I know.
I thought I was going to come in like a drowned rat again.
I was like, I actually don't think it.
Yeah.
So perfect. So I shall see you next. Yeah, just email